You ever have one of those mornings? The alarm goes off and you just can't? You feel completely stuck. And the first word that probably pops into your head is lazy. But what if that's not it at all? What if we've been using the wrong word this whole time? We're going to explore a really powerful idea today. You're not lazy, you're just mentally exhausted.
This quote just, wow, it captures that feeling perfectly, doesn't it? That strange disconnection where, yeah, your body's awake, it's going through the motions, but your spark, that inner part of you feels totally gone. It's this heavy, hollow feeling so many of us know, but have a really hard time putting into words.
And when we feel that way, the first story we almost always tell ourselves is one of self-blame. I must be lazy. It's a story that gets reinforced by all this well-meaning, but let's be honest, pretty unhelpful advice from everyone around us. A whole chorus of voices just telling us to try harder.
Right. You hear stuff like this all the time. The assumption is so simple. The problem must be your schedule. If you could just force yourself out of bed an hour earlier, everything would magically fall into place.
And then there's this one, the pressure to just grind it out, to push through it. The message here is that more effort is the only solution when you feel this completely depleted.
And finally, this is the one that really stings. Stop making excuses. This just completely dismisses the entire struggle, doesn't it? It frames what you're feeling as a flaw in your character. And when you hear these things over and over again, you start to believe them. You start to think, yeah, something must be fundamentally wrong with me.
But what if all that advice completely misses the point? What if the real problem isn't a lack of effort, but an overwhelming, totally invisible workload? It's time we uncover what's really going on beneath the surface.
This is the reality. The reason you're so tired isn't because you're doing nothing, it's because you're doing everything. You're fighting silent battles every single day, battles that drain your mental and your emotional energy in ways nobody else can even see.
And this is what that unseen workload looks like. It's waking up with that knot of anxiety already in your stomach. It's carrying all these responsibilities at work or for your family that nobody else even knows about. It's the huge amount of energy it takes to put on a smile in public when you feel like you're falling apart on the inside. Your mind is constantly running, replaying failures, worrying about money, thinking about expectations, even when you're supposed to be resting.
So what this means is that we have got to stop using the wrong word to describe this experience. It's time for a really critical reframe, one that can honestly change everything. We need to understand the difference between laziness and burnout.
And the difference is so simple, but it's incredibly profound. Laziness, well, that's when you just don't care. It's apathy. But burnout is the complete opposite. It's a state of total exhaustion that comes from caring too much for way too long without getting the rest or the reward you need. It's what happens when you're on all the time.
Okay, so once you really get this difference, you can make this huge pivotal shift in your own head, in your internal monologue. And it all comes down to changing one fundamental question that you ask yourself.
For so long, the question has probably been this one. What is wrong with me? It's a question that comes from a place of shame and self-blame. It assumes that you are the problem, that you're the one who's broken. But what if we replaced it with this question instead? What happened to me? See, this question isn't about finding excuses. It's about looking for explanations. It opens the door to curiosity and, most importantly, compassion. It lets you look at the circumstances, at all those silent battles that got you to this point.
And that's it. This one shift from what is wrong with me to what happened to me, it's the key that unlocks everything. It moves your focus from blame to understanding, from feeling like a failure to acknowledging your experience. It's the very first real step towards actually healing.
So once you make that mental shift, the path forward starts to look a whole lot clearer. And here's the thing. The solution to burnout isn't more hustle. It's not about grinding harder. It's healing. It's about finally giving yourself what you actually need, a period of genuine recovery.
So what do we mean by recovery? Well, it's not about finding some new motivation hack or productivity trick. It's the active process of regaining strength and well-being. It's about taking the time to replenish all those mental and emotional resources that have been completely drained.
So where do you even begin? The path really starts with 3 simple but pretty profound steps. First, honesty. You have to acknowledge what's happening. Say it out loud. I am exhausted, not lazy. Second is compassion. Start replacing all that internal pressure with some self-kindness. And third, recovery. Give yourself permission to actually rest. Allow your mind the time it really needs to heal.
And this is the promise waiting for you at the end of that path. This whole thing isn't about giving up. Not at all. It's about a strategic retreat so you can build back sustainable strength. Because real, lasting drive, it doesn't come from forcing yourself to run on empty. It comes back naturally, on its own, once you've given yourself the time and the space to truly recover. And when it does return, you won't just be back to where you were. You'll be stronger, wiser, and so much more resilient than you were before.